once again, the slow walk towards the final boss. Kratos quite cut up, bloodied, tired most likely. And here's this bloody bird once again. Right, we won't fall for that again. Ah, nice, we got it. First time. Well, second time.
You are not fit to be called a Spartan. I lost everything because of you.
They were not there by chance, Kratos. You think you want truth, but truth will only bring you pain! My death will not free you from this madness!
Okay, that's quite a blinding white screen. The heroic hero returns
I
home.
would not have been strong enough to choose your path, Spartan. Orcos. I would have taken what my mother's offered.
I would rather live in truth.
I fear you may come to regret those words. Lord Ares still holds your bond.
This cannot be.
Before you killed them, my mother's once again made me your Oathkeeper. For you to be free, I must die by your hand.
I do not understand.
If you do not release me, my father will retain power over you, but even worse, I will live in eternal torture.
I have spilled enough innocent blood.
There is no other way, Spartan. Destroy the Oath. Kill Ares. Have your revenge. I was never the warrior my father wanted me to be. But please, all I ask, give me an honorable death.
With the death of Orcos, the blood oath to Ares was finally broken, and the painful truth rushed back to Kratos' mind. The truth of the murder he committed, the slaughter of his wife and child, the carnage forged from his relentless ambition, surfaced in perfect clarity, and became the visions that would haunt him all of his days. free of the Fury's madness, but still tortured by the truth of his past. Kratos left the only home he'd ever known, and set out to undo all that he had wrought.
So, that was God of War Ascension, everybody. It's been a bloody great game, and for my first fully completed God of War, I have to say, I did enjoy it. And I will be looking forward to be playing the rest of the series, as for some of you, you can check out my God of War 1 playthrough. It's blind, because I'd never played God of War until a few months ago. Well, it might have just been less than a month now, actually. And for my overall opinion on this game, I have to say, for a prequel, which didn't really need to actually ever be made, it's done good, if I'm honest. There's not been too much story, however it did bring in the likes of the Furies, and took them out of it in the same game. And it gave more to the game franchise, but by that I mean, for the gamers out there who just love God of War, the fighting, I can tell, it's just immersive, it's really good. I enjoyed it. I may button smash a lot, but that's just me personally. But just the gore, the violence, the decapitations I love so much through this game. I can see that why they made another game. Because you always want more. And if it's a sequel or a prequel, that's what you want. You want more of the same. As long as the storyline's good and true, you can't complain. And this game, I think most of all concentrated more on the gameplay itself, rather than a story. Because there was story there, but there wasn't much. However, some of the story was interesting, and I'm guessing it will add quite a lot to the lore of God of War. For example, one of the interesting things I thought was Orcos. Orcos was a very interesting character to me, since he was the forsaken outcast by his mothers, and Ares, of course. And instead of being that rude child kind of thing, what am I trying to say? Well, usually you would have thought he would like to have revenge and be placed back in his mother's and father's eyes by, for example, killing Kratos, the one they chose instead of him. And he could have easily have become an enemy of Kratos. However, he decided to pick the path of justice and help Kratos revenge his family. And to me, just the writing for that, it's different. I liked it. Instead of making him that bastard who always appeared every 10 minutes trying to kill you or just being another enemy. Gave Kratos an ally, showed a more... I'm guessing he's not exactly the most social and friendly kind of people. And Orcos befriending Kratos, it kind of brought that out of him. And also on that, it showed a lot of his family during all the flashbacks and just general points of his life, and it gave Kratos more of a character instead of just, I'm Kratos, I kill things and I like blood. I like blood all over my face and tearing people's limbs off. It showed some more emotion, a more emotional side to him. It didn't do it amazingly, but I still think it did it. For the most part. I could be wrong, there could be a lot of that through the God of War series, but from only completing this as my first God of War game, that's what I believe. And that's what I've seen. So that is what I think. Yeah. And damn, these final trailers credits are taking a lot longer than I thought. So yeah. That is what I think of the game. And honestly, I'd say to anyone, you should try it, play it. And to be honest, I wish I played this before I started God of War 1, because it is the prequel and it would have led on very well to the first game. because you don't exactly start anywhere specific in the first game. You just start out on a ship, and the story starts to build. I'd just like to apologise also in advance for not being able to explain this that well. I'm not exactly the greatest speaker, and I'm neither the greatest of people to analyse something and speak my own views on it in general. So Let's Playing for me, it's kind of hard. It's hard for anyone. And being this my first completed playthrough, I thought I would just mention that there if any of you listen to this. But I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and I will be continuing on the God of War series, as I've already mentioned. Bloody blah. And these are a lot of interesting names, yes, very interesting, which we'll probably never see until maybe the next God of War game. Maybe they'll make another prequel, I'm not too sure on that actually. You've got the likes of the PSP God of War games, however, there's not really too many ties into the stories, but I'm not too sure on that. They could make more games of God of War and just do the same as this one, just give you more of the same, just more combat, more violence, and maybe some more lore behind the series. And that is finally, I believe, my summary of God of War Ascension. Great game. If I'd give it a rating, I would say, for Ascension at least, 7 or an 8 out of 10. It's a game genre I don't usually play. Well, it's kind of in a genre on its own to a point, but I guess you could combine it in combo, fighting, story. There's a lot of things you could put it into, a lot of categories. But I did enjoy the gameplay and the story. I've got really not too many bad words against it. And for me to voice those bad words, what I think bad about it, would simply be just the fact that there wasn't that much story in this. However, I feel I will get that out of the trilogy, God of War 1, 2 and 3. Even though I have heard there's apparently not too much crammed in there, it does concentrate more on the gameplay, which I think some games kind of lack nowadays, since a lot of games just build up on big explosions, bloody blah. It did it there, towards the end, and it did it at a few points. However, it didn't stay on for 20 minutes, for example, and just try and think, wow, that's amazing, I'm just sitting here watching it. But in this, you get to play it, and that's what I admire about it. But then on the other side, sometimes I do like maybe a bit more story. So that's the only bad words I really have to say. Camera angles can be a bit dodgy there and then, but they also do add a lot to the combat system and so on. It does make some of the battles a lot harder, as you've seen. Some of them are almost arena caged in battles where the camera angle can make it so much harder. For example, the battle, well, not the battle, the test of Archimedes, when I was fighting the 2 Medusas and the 2 lightning elementals with, I've already explained it in that video, so if you want to check that out, go check it out. I'm not going to explain it now, but it just increased the difficulty so much. And I'm guessing if we're looking for another God of War game, we'll be seeing it on PS4, being released late this year, I believe. Well, not the next God of War game, but the next PlayStation. So maybe in the next few years, because God of War 3 came out in about 2010, 2011 maybe? I think it's around that time. It has been quite a while, because I did play the demo of God of War 3. That was my first ever experience with God of War, and I thought it was an awesome game from the demo, but sadly I never picked it up. I must have just forgotten about it. I didn't lose interest, because that kept instant reminder in the back of my head. And when Ryan, Coalition Hybrid, currently playing Bioshock Infinite, reminded me of the series, I thought, yeah, I played a demo of that. I really enjoyed it. So I thought, I'll pick it up. Well, God of War 1 and 2 I currently have. I still need to pick up God of War 3. And, yeah, I'm talking a hell of a lot. Because this bloody cutscene won't end. Well, credits, I'm sorry. being technical here. Credits they are. Yes, all of these names, brilliant people. Well, I shouldn't say anything against them. They made an excellent game. Good show to all of them. I would give you a clap if it didn't sound ridiculously loud on the mic. I've tried it, trust me. You don't want to hear me clap. Or click, at that matter. But it does look like we are coming to the end. And just before I go, or not, I will be starting a playthrough soon. A new one. It's going to be not exactly a classic, but an older game. Which I believe will be a first for me, since my first playthrough was Assassin's Creed 3. Never finished it. I hopefully will come back to that someday. Assassin's Creed 4 coming out later this year, I believe, is also. Well, that was quite a big jump for a year. Yeah, not going into detail about that. And now this, we've completed this. So, I will be going to the Nintendo side of things. And I will be playing... Hell, I might as well say it. Is it Mario Galaxy? Super Mario Galaxy? Wow, I can't even remember the title of the game. Hold on, I've got the bloody box here. What am I saying? Yes, Super Mario Galaxy. The first one. Back on Wii. There is a second one now, but I will be playing that. And I have been asked to get all the stars, which is going to fuck me over. Yep, I will be doing that for a long time. So if any of you have watched this playthrough and enjoyed my commentary and whatnot, you may come join me on that too. And if anyone else would like to recommend a playthrough for me, I will be gladly open to opinions and recommendations. And I'm pretty sure I will play it at some point. But yes, Mario Galaxy will be my next game, and then I will be going back and finishing God of War 1. Unless one of you recommends something, of course. I will be doing God of War multiplayer hopefully soon as well. I've not actually started that, so I will most likely get my butt kicked by a bunch of over-leveled people. Well, not over-leveled, they'll just be good at the game, unlike me. And I believe that's it. So I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Or not. Shit. We may as... No, I don't need to read this out. Blah, blah, blah. Pretty much, from the God of War team, a very special thank you. And from me, that will be goodbye. Whoa, congratulations. Right, damn it, okay. Is that it? Yes, that is it. Bye-bye.